movie review 1958, The Defiant Ones. Directed by Stanley Kramer, who also responsible for the writing. It stars Tony Curtis as John Jackson, Sidney Poitier as Noam Cullen. They're the two lead roles in this movie. Theodore Buckle plays Sheriff Max Mullen, and Charlie McGraw is Captain Frank Gibbons. Those two are the police officers involved in this movie. Lon Chaney Jr. plays Big Sam in a supporting role that's crucial, and there are a number of other supporting roles. Basically what we have, and Cara Williams plays Billy's mother, who's also a significant supporting actress. And set the scene. At the beginning of the movie, there are a number of prisoners in the back of a truck. They include Jackson and Cullen, who are handcuffed together. They have just returned from a chain gang work detail and are returning to the penitentiary. It is night time and there is torrential rain, and it's causing a problem to the driver. What takes place is an argument between Curtis and Poitier following a racial slur by Curtis, describing Poitier as the N-word. This results in a scuffle, which then leads to the truck leaving the road and falling down a ravine. We then get the police. It's morning time. The police are assessing what has happened, and the driver has been killed, but most of the prisoners are there apart from the said two, Jackson and Cullen, who have escaped. What then takes place is that Bickle becomes in charge of the manhunt, and Gibbons is involved also, and these two have a sort of little bickering between themselves as to where they're going to look and the course of action. Gibbons manages to get a local to bring a pack of dogs, which include Dobermans, who are particularly vicious. Bickle, Mullen, is not too keen on using these dogs, although the hounds are also there to assist. The movie is basically about how the relationship between Jackson and Cullen changes whilst they're on the run. Clearly they initially don't have much love for each other, but they, because of their predicament, have to work together if they are going to survive. And through this, the relationship changes as the movie moves on. We come across situations which are quite amazingly, the cinematography is truly remarkable. Firstly, they try and break the chain with a stone. That's a highly comical scene. Then they try to cross a river with the downstream being significant. It's extremely difficult, but that they manage to succeed in. And then there's an amazing scene where they're walking down a track and they hear, it's daylight now, and they hear a vehicle coming, and obviously they don't want to be seen, so they jump off into a large hole, and it's still pouring with rain, and this hole is deeper than they thought, and it's full of water. And then the next 5 minutes they attempt to get out of this hole because they're trapped. And it's an amazing scene where we see the collaboration of the two as Curtis climbs on the back of the bigger Poitier to ease his ability to climb up and get out of this hole. It's a particularly racially charged movie, very liberal in its presentation, and as the movie develops, the sort of racist tones of Jackson dissipate as he warms to his fellow prisoner, Cullen. They are desperate to try and find somewhere so that they can break the chain. They have an opportunity in a very small sort of hamlet type town, but unfortunately things go wrong and they get caught, and the mob are intent on lynching them. It's a very southern states area, and Lon Chaney comes to their rescue at night and lets them escape. The movie then moves to another setting, which is particularly poignant, I think. A boy comes across the two of them, and he has a sort of a gun, a sort of toy sort of gun, but it does actually work. It's and the Poitier manages to disarm him, and he then leads the two of them back to where his mother lives, who's lived alone for a number of years, and she becomes smitten with Curtis, who has developed an infection in his arm, and she looks after him through a perilous night where his fever has really become very, very strong. There then gets to the stage of the movie where they separate each other with the aid of a hammer and a chisel. So what then happens is that the woman is very keen to strike up a relationship with with Jackson, and they make a plan to head in the south, I think. She's got some money stashed, and at that point she advises Poitier on his route north. However, once Cullen disappears, she shares with Jackson that she's sent him off on a dangerous route where he's going to have problems with the swamp and quicksand, and likely he will perish. And this completely upsets Curtis, who then rushes off, desperate to try and find his friend to avert that possible demise. And this then leads us to the final scenes, which are really very, very emotionally charged, and I was deeply moved by the finale, but I'll not describe what it is. To say the least, this is a brilliant piece of cinema. I'm a great fan of Stanley Kramer, and the two lead characters, Curtis and Poitier, are two of the finest actors of that time that you could imagine. So this is certainly going to be in my top 5 for that year. It's called The Defiant Ones, in black and white, directed by Stanley Kramer, and released in 1958.